Hey there, it's Carolyn Cooper from Simply Align. Today I'm here with another Carolyn Tyger. She's one of our certified Simply Align practitioners. And Carolyn, tell us a little bit about yourself and how you got going with Simply Align.
So I'm going to start with I'm a little funky. I'm always a little out on the fringe. And my brothers have made fun of me all my life. And they love me for it. So I'm the girl that brings the bean fudge to the family party. Like, ooh, but it's really delicious. Um, I'll tell you a little bit more about me, but first, how I got into energy alignment. So I remember waking up on my 39th birthday and all my hopes and dreams had been shattered. I had just gotten divorced after a long marriage, and I had this dream of getting married, having 10 kids, living happily ever after, and it all fell apart. I had a long stint with infertility, killed a marriage, killed me. It was really hard. And that started my journey in looking for something different because I was, even though nobody knew it, I mean, I left my job on a Friday night and after everybody left and sent emails, by the way, I got divorced. Don't talk to me about it. Nobody even knew I was going through a divorce. So I kept high, but inside I was low. And so I was looking for all kinds of things. And the movie The Secret, or the book The Secret, had just come out. My sister-in-law gave me like a bootleg copy and she called it The Answer. And I remember watching that and thinking, well, this is how I already think. What are you talking about? It was just kind of like, yeah, people don't know this. And it kind of started the ball rolling. And because I was in this place where I was all alone, I didn't have, a husband or kids or anybody to take care of per se. I kind of worked on myself. And I believe God started putting things in my place. And I found this lady, I can't remember, Ann Taylor or something. I don't even know how I found her. She had some recordings that were a little bit energy alignment related, and I listened to her. And somehow I found you, Carolyn. I don't remember how. I remember being in my living room, playing a recording of you. I think you were doing some energy work, like a freebie or something, or playing it. There was no video, it was just audio on my TV in my living room, listening and thinking, wow, this is amazing. This really resonates with me. And so then I looked into getting the training, and you did live trainings in St. George at that time. And they were, I worked for a CPA firm, and they were always right in the middle of a tax crunch. And so I was like, well, I can't do that. And I kind of put it on the side burner. Fast forward, several years, I got married, remarried, and we were old and trying to have kids again. And I changed jobs. I was working in security. I was no longer working for the CPA firm. And my world kind of opened up. And I came across something like, oh, I should look this up again. And I looked it up, and she had a training. You had a training coming up. So I signed up for the training. And I remember thinking, this is going to be cool, something fun, go to St. George, learn something new. And in the meantime, I had a friend tell me about emotion code, and she sent me this PDF copy of the book, and I was reading it at night. So I was like, this is really interesting. And I practiced it a little bit. And then I went to it was Simply Healed then, but Simply Align training. And I was like, wow, this really is so amazing. And I was so shy. I wouldn't even volunteer for anything in the training. I just kind of sat back in my little corner and hid. But it was such a powerful thing. Even when we took the picture at the end, we took a picture with everybody, like the 20, 25 ladies, people that were there. I hid in the back so I couldn't really be seen. I was that nervous after the 4-day training. But I can tell you that was a catalyst to bring me to where I am today. That pulled me, even though I had remarried and I was trying to have a family, that pulled me out of the dark abyss and just created this whole new world where I was able to, I guess you could say, attract and align with the things that mattered to me. So here I am, however many years later. I've got twins who are now 9. I've got a husband. I do Simply Align for myself, my family, for other people. It's been a great experience. that too long?
No, that it was riveting. No, that was a great story. I knew some of that, of course. I knew
Yeah.
you came to class, you were quiet, and I'm like, you knew nothing about this? You just came all by yourself from Idaho?
Yeah. I stayed in a hotel by myself, and I mean, it was great. It was great.
Yeah, that's awesome. So yeah, thanks for sharing all of that. I love it. So do you have, so now when you work with other people, oh, you didn't finish telling us about yourself. Well, yeah, I guess you kind of did.
Kind
You're
of, yeah.
married,
I
you
mean,
have twins.
I was 47 when my twins were born. And so I lead this like really strange life where I'm like the grandma age of the little kids. And I'm the oldest in my family. I'm the oldest of 5 children. I have 4 brothers. My children are the youngest grandchildren. And really right now, my husband and myself, our lives pretty much revolve around the kids, and we love it.
Yeah, that's great. I love that you mentioned you were 47 when you had your babies, because yeah, and I have I think 3 clients who have had babies
Yeah.
later on like that. So awesome. So who are your favorite kind of people to work with? Like, do you have a specialty, a niche?
So I love when clients come to me and they've been trying things. They've been trying to figure out how to get out of wherever they are and get to a better place. Because they're ready. They're ready for that shift. I really tend to gravitate to people who are working on relationships, whether it be with a significant other, a parent, a child, yourself. I really tend to gravitate around relationships. Um, there's so much we can do to help buoy you up, align you with who you really truly are and who you want to be that person in the relationship, and how that can help heal relationships. That's where I tend to usually gravitate to.
Nice, nice. Well, and that's so needed. That is like, that's the basis of everything we deal with in our life is we have relationships.
Yeah,
Like,
and so often that's what's bringing you down. Well, I just can't seem to get along with my husband. My son is driving me crazy. My mom won't, and we tend to blame everything on that. And it can really drag us down. And when we can heal that or realign the way that we think and act and respond, that powerful things happen.
yeah, yeah, that's true. Um, what do you wish more people knew about what it is you do? Like energy healing, energy work, energy alignment. It's called so many different names, but what do you wish people knew about it?
Oh, first of all, I wish they knew that it's not crazy. It's science. It seems woo-woo, but it's not. And there are a lot of modalities out there. There's a lot of ways to get it. What I found was SimplyAlign. Since I came across SimplyAlign, I've studied all kinds of things, wanting to know more, 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 more. And every time it's just like, well, with SimplyAlign, it's so easy. Why would you go through all that? It can be done. There's so many ways you can fix this. You can change your thinking. You can release those limiting beliefs. There are so many ways to do it, but with SimplyAlign, it's quick, it's easy, it's simple. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to hurt. You don't have to struggle to make it happen. And one thing I've noticed is people are kind of like, they just kind of like, when you say energy work or anything, they kind of just like pull away. But the truth is, you get to choose. It's a choice. We do the work together. We set it up for you. And then you get to choose whether you want to accept it or not. That nobody's pushing anything on you. And the benefits are exponential.
Well spoken. Yes, indeed. So do you have a specific story about somebody who's come to you and what you've helped them with?
So I love that you've asked this question. I was thinking about the things that we might discuss, and I was going to share how I had this client who I've been working with a lot, and she said, "Oh, I'm going on this trip and I'm going on this cruise and I have motion sickness." And I said, "Oh, let's work on it." And we cleared it up, and we did. But I feel drawn to tell you about a different story. I was working with a lady who, it was the first time, and usually I'm kind of a high energy person. And so usually my energy will pull out the high energy out of someone else. And I'm working with this gal, and it was a 50-minute session. So it's a private one-on-one, the two of us working together. And I usually start by saying, well, what would you like to accomplish today? What do you want to work on? What are your goals for this session? And she talked about, her relationship with her husband, and she just wanted to really work on that. And so I said, okay, well, let's follow the energy. So I start following the energy, and it's just, we're doing stuff, but it's just flat. I'm like, this is so different than normal for me. Everything just felt flat. Like there's no highs, there's no lows, it's just flat. And we're doing the work. We did worked on a whole bunch of different things. And it was like there were these broken pieces to a puzzle, and we were fixing each of the pieces, but they weren't linking together. It was just like little spots of things getting fixed. I'm like, this is so unusual. And I said to the gal about halfway through, I said, everything just feels kind of flat, like almost like numb. She says, in a very monotone voice, she says, yes, I just feel numb. I'm like, that's just really interesting. We continued to work. We were just fixing all these little pieces all over the place. And toward the end of the session, I finally felt like we could start working on her relationship with her husband. And we just did like one or two little things. And all of a sudden, I felt all these little pieces like connect and pull together from all over the place. They're coming together. I was like, wow, that was neat. So I just say to her, I say, so how are you feeling now? And she's in this very vibrant tone, like I feel so good. I feel so light. I can't even remember feeling this light before. She's like, I just feel amazing. I was like, wow. And I know that seems kind of abstract, and you can't really put your thumb on anything like, oh, we cured her motion sickness or anything like that. But I think it's true of energy work, because it just brought her to a new level. She started feeling the light again. The numbness disappeared. And I think so many of us go through life feeling a little numb. We get all these dings on us, and so we just flatten it out. So it's like, okay, I'm not going to feel that because it's too hard. And so that was such a great experience for me, and I hope for her, that she just lifted and felt light.
Yeah. As I'm listening to you talk, I'm like, oh yeah, that's so cool. That's how SimplyAlign works. Like sometimes you're like, I'm not sure if this is coming together, but you were following the energy. You're like, okay, do that. Like each of those little pieces needed to be fixed first.
Yes.
So that then they could all go, okay, now we're all ready to come together.
Yes.
That's a great story.
I love that story, because it was just, it seems so basic, I guess, but so powerful.
Yeah. Well, it's in the small things that like make us powerful. It's all those small little, those marginal gains that we get from doing, clearing different little energy things, and then they all come together. Yeah. Awesome. I love that story. So what would you tell somebody who's considering coming to a SimplyAlign training?
What are you waiting for? I told you my story. I probably learned about SimplyAlign in about, I would say roughly 2009, 2010. And I didn't go to a training until 2015. Probably for my best good. I don't know. But if you're hearing this, if you're listening, if you're considering, then now is the time. There is no downside. Zero downside. You can help yourself. At the very minimum, you help yourself. When I was pregnant, I had just learned the SimplyAlign method. And I remember lying in my bathtub every night, checking in on my kids, checking in on myself, and just, I don't know if it's calming the energy, but just like aligning things so everything felt okay. And that was so amazing for me, going through that pregnancy with twins at 40-something years old. And that's just a tiny little piece of it. So if you're hearing this, now's the time. That's the little nudge that says, get this. Your life will be better.
Wow. Thanks for that. That's beautiful to think, you went through the pregnancy right after the class. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. So you're naturally such a up, bubbly, just beautiful light in the
Thank
world.
you.
But how do you do it? How do you personally stay grounded and with all the stuff going on in our world? How do you stay where you're at?
One of my biggest things I have worked on is recognizing my power to choose. I know that sounds simple, but I have so many things go on around you that you do not get to choose I don't get to choose my husband's attitude for today. I don't get to choose my son's attitude for today. I don't get to choose what happened down the street or in Washington, D.C. I don't get to choose that, but I do get to choose my response and how I show up. And that's been my focus lately is I have the power to choose. I get to choose how things affect me. And I get to choose to hone into my own, spiritual guidance or my own energy. I get to choose, and I get to choose whether or not I wash the dishes. I get to choose whether or not I read this cool story. I get to choose how I respond to the news release. And while that may seem so obvious and so simple, that has been a huge pivotal point for me in staying grounded and staying connected and focusing on what really matters to me is recognizing that I am choosing this. If I'm being angry right now, I am choosing to be angry right now. So let's talk about in my head, what's going on?
Yeah. So it is simple, but we tend to make things so complex, and that's where we get into trouble. So yeah, keeping it simple and having the choice, and it's my choice and I'm choosing this. And yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah. And like I say, it seems obvious maybe, like, well, of course, but oftentimes you hear yourself, I have to do this. I have to do that. Oh, why are they doing this to me? That's your cue. You get to choose. And that's been very powerful for me.
Yeah. Thank you for that reminder for all of us.
Mm-hmm.
So how do people find you? Where can somebody find you? Carolyn is on our SimplyAlign directory at simplyalign.com, but if they want to seek you out personally, where do they go?
Just carolyntyger.com. So CarolynTy, no I, YGER.com.
Nice. That's easy to remember.
Yeah, it's easy for me.
Yeah. Well, good. So you can find her there. And if you need a little boost of energy and enlightenment and bubbliness, she's got it so much.
Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It's always great to talk to you.
You too.
All right. If you guys are interested in learning what Carolyn knows about Simply Align, you come to a training, you can go to simplyalign.com/certify, and all the info is there. And thank you for being here. I hope people come and chat with you and get the alignment they're seeking.
Thank you. I hope so too. I'm here for you.
Awesome. Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.